The views and opinions expressed on this channel falls under the Fair Use Copyright Act of 1976. It's for entertainment, criticism, and commentary purposes only. Is all alleged.
Hey there. Welcome, civilians. You've arrived at the home of civilized and thought-provoking commentary. Get ready for elevation, growth, and experience. I am the civilized woman. Please like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Welcome back, y'all. Unfortunately, we've lost another rapper. Rich Homie Quan, the Atlanta native, passed away on Thursday, September 5th. He's famous for a song called Flex Ooh 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 Ooh. And they're alleging overdose as being the reason for his passing. Of course, he just passed, so there's not been an official report on that yet. That's just the speculation that's out there. And I hadn't heard about him in a long time. I guess he kept recording, but I don't really keep up with popular music like that, so he completely fell off my radar. But it's very, very unfortunate that another rapper is gone. Another rapper has lost their life. We will know more, I suspect, in the coming days and weeks exactly how he transpired or how he expired, excuse me. But when I heard this story, it kind of just was like, dang, that's messed up. But then I started to think about the girlfriend. With him gone, what does that mean for her? Georgia is not a common law state, which means that puts her in a precarious situation. They at least had one kid together, if not two. And that puts her in a tight spot in terms of what rights does she have? What does this mean for her that he's no longer? And I hate to kind of bring this up because he just lost his life, and I'm sure that's not where her head is at. But if you've gone through any kind of death of a family member in any way, shape, form, or fashion, you know that is a real reality. I'll just speak for me personally. My oldest brother passed away. It'll be 4 years this December. And what struck me was that he has a kid, but because he was not married to my nephew's mother, she really didn't have, the only thing she had any kind of access to was his Social Security, and that really is for my nephew. That's the only thing that she has eye view of. She has control over. Everything else that was connected to my brother actually became the estate of went to my parents. And of course they in order for anything to even be done, my other brother ended up handling his affairs, but for anything to even be done with that, our parents had to sign something that said we are okay for him to represent and handle this for us. So even to do that, imagine you can have a child with somebody, and if there isn't anything in writing, it's going to be very difficult for you to claim anything, even if you've built a life with that person. And then even still with my brother, my second brother handling the affairs of our oldest brother didn't have a will. So even that then caused another problem. He didn't have a will, he didn't have a trust. So everything, we had to work with the lawyers. My brother was going back and forth. We live in a different state than where my brother passed away. And my other brother had to go back and forth handling affairs, meeting with the lawyer just to make sure. And there's still, to this day, there's still things that is still being wrapped up. So people, I know we live in a society where people don't value marriage like they used to, but if you take the romantic out of it and you just look at it from a common sense, a practical, it's like having insurance. If you're gonna build a life, we all have insurance, and we don't have it because we intend for something to happen. But if something does happen, it's great to have it because you have coverage, you have assurance that you're going to be made whole because you have the insurance, whether it's regarding your home or your car or whatever. Marriage is kind of like that. If you're going to take the time to build a life with somebody, I don't understand not making sure you have the proper protection. Now, clearly, I'm absolutely presuming because I don't know what they have. I don't know. He's a recording artist, so I would hope that he had things in place. But unfortunately for our community, that it doesn't always work that way, where we have our affairs and orders as such that there isn't going to be an issue for our loved ones upon our passing. And already, there's been other women that's come to the forefront, including rapper Erica Banks, who's come to the forefront and talked about being in some kind of relationship with him while he had a full-fledged, for all intents and purposes, family. So, this may sound a little bit morbid to start thinking about this kind of stuff right now, or a little out of place. I'll say that a different way, but it's necessary, because if this young lady does not have anything in place to make sure that she and her children are going to be good, this is going to get really, really, really unpleasant, because unfortunately rappers tend to be worth a lot more. Entertainers in general tend to be worth a lot more upon their passing, than even more so than they were alive. So that's going to be something, when money comes into play, that's when people get real funny about you. Like, they may love you, they may you were ride or die, you were down for him, this and that and the other, and then money starts to roll in and people forget all of that. I'm thinking about what happened with DMS. DMS had all those children, and he had a fiance upon his passing. Him and that fiance had a child together. I think that his stuff is still in where the family is still in probate, and the family is trying to get stuff, and everybody raved about the fiance. But I can guarantee you that when the money starts to come into play, people are not thinking about how great you are. So you really have to protect yourself in any way possible. If obviously people can do what they want to do, I'm in full transparency, I'm absolutely an advocate for marriage. I'm not married yet, but I'm an absolute advocate for marriage. So for me, I don't understand being with somebody for a significant amount of time, putting your body and your life on the line to birth children for that person, and yet y'all don't have the commitment of where you even have the same last name as your children. I don't understand that. But there's a part in this article that I'm gonna share with y'all, and it's about her addressing the issues. It was like a few days after his passing. So I'm gonna share that because I want to read what she posted on Instagram, and I may read what Erica Banks had to say. Probably not, because I find it in poor taste, to be honest, that all these women have come out thus far. We really need to bring shame back, because I don't understand the need to make sure that everybody knows that you were a side chick. I don't understand it. I don't understand the need to put yourself out there like that. I cannot wrap my mind around why you would want to be known as that, especially right after this happened. He has a woman that he is with. He's in a house where she found him. I don't understand. Just in poor taste, in my opinion. And we really need to get some respect about ourselves, that we are not taking pride in being the other woman in people's situations. So let me just go ahead and share my screen, and then I'm going to pull up this article. Okay. This young lady's name is Amber. I don't know if she's the same age as him or if she's younger. He passed away at 34. So his birthday is October 4th. So he was just a few weeks shy of his 35th birthday when he passed away. So let me go down here and read. So this is what it says on her page, and through this article that I'm reading is on allhiphop.com. It says, "This pain is unbearable. The love you all have shown is an overflow. I truly appreciate everyone who's reached out. I'm traumatized from a moment that's that I'll forever be in my head. I have nothing to prove because my love for my other half was always shown, and always is in all caps. I had nothing to hide. Please respect me and the family at this time. Our house is no longer a home. I'm completely heartbroken. 15 years gone. I'll never be the same. This is a complete nightmare. We never could let go, but you didn't have to leave me like this. Hashtag no." Okay, and I'm go ahead and stop sharing the screen. Hashtag numb, she says. 15 years really stood out to me in that statement. 15 years. 15 years she was with him. And she's listed as his girlfriend. As I mentioned earlier, Georgia is not a common law state, so they were cohabitating. So I'm going to actually share another article that I saw on a website. Looks like it's a law firm in Georgia, or that probably do have lawyers in Georgia or can represent you in Georgia, that goes over just a little bit of what that means if you're cohabitating and your person, there was no will and there was no trust. Share my screen again. And share. Okay, so I made sure to leave it on the part where it talks about estate inheritance and estate planning for cohabitating couples. So it says in Georgia, marriage provides an important advantage to spouses. I suspect it's not just in Georgia, but we're talking about Georgia because that's where they reside. That's where he's from. The legal right to inherit with or without a will. So in Georgia, with or without a will, you can inherit. Cohabitating couples, however, can only inherit if specified in a will or trust. This means if one cohabitant dies, their property passes to whomever they name in their will. If they don't have a will, property and assets go to family members according to state laws. As the surviving partner, you will have no claim to the estate unless your partner had explicitly stated so. And that's not just in say so. That needs to be in writing. The legal parts of it, all the legal jargon, the legal paperwork, all of that needs to be in place in order for you to be able to inherit. So now this young lady expressed in her Instagram post that she had been with Rich Homie Quan for 15 years. That's a significant amount of time. So I sincerely hope that there are things in place, or else she's really going to be at the mercy of his people. And again, people can tell you how much they love you, but when the money starts to come in, then it becomes a whole different ball game as to whether or not they're going to love you or they're going to respect your position in his life. If he doesn't codify that in some kind of way, you're really out of luck. So you can build a life with somebody and end up losing that because you don't have the proper protection to protect your assets, especially when you have children with that person. It's not just about you at this point. And I know a lot of women don't want to feel like they're pressuring a man to marry. I think a lot of us kind of delude ourselves because just to appease the men that we are with, to act like we don't desire marriage or we would not want to be married. But the fact of the matter is, for you to stay that long with somebody, obviously you're planning to be with them for the long haul. So I don't understand why marriage was not an option. And if you are not married or don't desire to be married, then why are you with a person that you plan on spending the rest of your life with, but you're not willing to go through the process to make it legal to protect your assets, his assets, children's their birthright, right? So you would think, well, he has children, so we have children together, so his people will make sure my children are good. You don't know. They may do that, but then you don't have any access to that. They then have a control as to how your children are going to be taken care of, and that to me just doesn't make sense. So that was really what stuck out to me here with this story for now anyway, was the idea of what does this mean for this young lady if the paperwork, if the legal part of everything was not in place. It might get really ugly. So prayers to the family, prayers for her, their children, just everybody who loved him and who was connected to him. And I pray that for compassion, I pray for understanding. And for peace sake, if there are any other women out there who have been with this man, please hush. Please hush. The fact that we didn't know about you till now means that you were meant to be on the side. You were meant to be hidden. You were meant to be quiet. Hush. All right, y'all. Until next time. Thank you. Have a good one. Just a little something that was on my mind, and now it's on yours. Until next time.